Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Last night Blizzard revealed what is probably the most unique card in Murder at Castle Natria expansion, and that is Remornia, Living Blade, the blade of Sire Denatrius, working very much like its World of Warcraft counterpart. In the Sire Denatrius encounter you fight against Sire Denatrius, where the living sword sometimes does its own things and sometimes Denatrius wields it, and that mechanic has been copied to Hearthstone. Because Remornia, the collectible Remornia, the card Remornia, is a minion. Remornia, Living Blade. It's a 7-mana 4/10 with Rush, and after this attacks, equip it. So you play Remornia, you attack with Remornia, Remornia hits into whatever it hits, it takes some damage, and then it becomes a weapon with durability, as much durability as it has health left. And then you can attack with it as a weapon. And then when you attack with it as a weapon, it will use 1 durability, and then it will return back on the board as a minion with Rush again, so it can attack again, and then whenever it takes damage, well, that reduces its durability in weapon form. And as a weapon, Remornia, Living Blade, after a hero attacks, return this to the battlefield. So this, funnily enough, this is more unique than locations, this is more unique than the infuse mechanic, this is the most unique thing that is happening in Murder at Castle Natria. And of course, there's a lot of questions, okay, how exactly does this work? And none of those will be answered in the game, but they will all be answered on Twitter. I don't think this system works perfectly, I don't think this is the ideal system, but hey, some credit is due to the developers who try to at least fix the deficiencies in the system that they may or may not have been part in creating by giving us information on Twitter. So, details about how Remornia works exactly. First of all, so you can attack with it 3 times in 1 turn, or does the rush not refresh when it goes back onto the field? Yes. Attack as a minion, attack as a weapon, attack as a minion. And if you give her Wind Fury, wow. If you attack with your hero while your board is full, does the effect still trigger and destroy Remornia the minion? Yes, don't do that. Okay, so remember, don't attack with Remornia when your board is full. Alright, more. I assume the health endurance stays constant when it swaps from weapon to minion and back. So if you buff its health while it's a minion, it turns into a weapon with extra endurance. That's durability, actually in the correct parlance. But anyway, yes, it also preserves buffs, even ones that don't do anything on a weapon, like Taunt for example. So you can give Remornia Taunt, then when it's a weapon your character does not have Taunt. But when Remornia becomes a minion again, yep, Taunt is right there. More details. If we give charge to this card, will it be able to attack the face again after minion weapon minion transformation at the same turn? And yes, it will. So charging Remornia means Remornia goes face, you hit face with Remornia the weapon, and Remornia the minion goes face again. Charge Wind Fury Remornia. Minion goes face, weapon goes face, minion goes face, weapon goes face, minion goes face. Okay, there's some pretty sweet, very strange stuff that you can do with this card. And about those buffs, what happens when this card gets Divine Shield? Divine Shield on a weapon doesn't do anything, but she'll still have it when she goes back to being a minion. Also, if Remornia has lost Divine Shield while being a minion, and then becomes a minion again, it does not regain Divine Shield. It remembers its Divine Shield status when it becomes a weapon and becomes a minion again. There's some more questions about Powered Feast. Well, that's a priest spell, so yeah, priests and warriors, okay, and Reborn. Powered Feast does work, so yeah, you can buff up your Remornia with that, okay? But you're not a priest, it's a warrior card, so maybe that's not very relevant. Reborn does not work while a weapon, at least not currently. Okay, another piece of information good to know, because you kind of would expect that to work, but nope, it doesn't. Then some more information. This is actually pretty relevant one if you plan to do some kind of Ysera buff combination. Does it blow up if you Nightmare it and leave it as a weapon? That was my guess too. Just tried it, confirmed she does indeed get destroyed by Nightmare even when she's a weapon. So Remornia, you have played your Ysera, you play Nightmare on Remornia, get some stats, Remornia attacks, you leave Remornia as a weapon, and boom, your weapon is destroyed by Nightmare. Sad times. And this one, okay, very unusual edge case according to Celestalon, but maybe not so unusual after all. Say like Priest uses Nayak to steal Remornia, Remornia attacks, transforms into a weapon, Priest passes with the weapon equipped. What happens if the warrior kills Nayak? Just tried it. Nayak loses track of her when she shifts forms, so you keep her. You steal Remornia with your Nayak, and you're not going to give her back. Would not like lose track of her as well, she's shifty like that. Yeah, well, wow, there's just so many of these little details involved in this, and luckily thanks to Twitter, thanks to Celestalon, we have a lot of answers available, even though they're not apparent immediately from just reading the card. So after all of those additional details, what do I really think about Remornia? I think Remornia is probably going to be used in decks that really make good use of her. I mean, decks that can buff, Wind Fury, Charge. There's probably some combo deck waiting to be created with Remornia that just involves Remornia hitting face a lot and winning the game or something like that. But does Remornia make the cut in a regular warrior deck that doesn't have abilities to buff her? I mean, Remornia, you play it, it attacks into something, it loses a bunch of durability, becomes a weapon, you attack something with that weapon, loses 1 durability, becomes a minion, you attack something with that minion. So you have dealt a total of 12 damage to stuff on the board, and you have lost, what, 8 durability? So then you can still swing next turn again. It's actually not that great, unless you have some ways to buff it or heal it up or something with it. But it sure opens a lot of ways if you can just find some ways to buff it up. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and check out my Twitch channel.